Hello, everyone. My name is Joseph Gassiraro. I've been teaching myself code since August of 2002, and in June of 2023, I decided that I needed some professional guidance when it came to my coding education. So I signed up for the Savvy Coders Full Stack Development course in their bootcamp. And to show you everything that I've learned, we've all made capstone projects, and mine in particular is a web application designed to house educational computer games for children of elementary school age up through high school. I came up with this idea because after many years as a private tutor, I noticed a common theme, regardless of the age or the subject. Either the student has trouble paying attention in class, whether it's the teacher's teaching style, the technology being used, they just don't find it interesting. But there's also a more serious reason most of the time where they don't actually understand why they're learning what they're learning. And because of that, they're inherently less interested because they don't know why. They're just being told to do it. And after a certain age, it can really get to them. So my web application is meant to solve a lot of issues. It's meant to give kids that have trouble paying attention in class a way to focus on what they're supposed to learn. It's meant to give teachers a education aid to assign for homework or to supplement what there's already in class, and to give parents a safe, educational, family-friendly website that they can let their kids on without being concerned that they're going to wander down the wrong side of the web. So, with that clear, I want to show you how me and my class planned for this. Part of our planning was using a web application called Jira to focus on agile ceremonies and methodologies. You can see here in general, we had a little over 60 issues from the start of our boot camp in June to the end in August, and we got most of them done. Very good. We had bi-weekly sprints and daily stand-ups with yours truly as the Scrum Master, which was extremely satisfying because I liked hearing everyone's accomplishments and their blockers, as well as making sure that they got the assistance they needed, whether it was from me or another staff member at Savvy Coders. There was one particular issue that really helped me plan out my capstone, and that was this checklist for all the different things that would be helpful for our web applications. And I can tell you that without reusing and knowing how to reuse the same issue in multiple sprints, I would have forgotten a couple features for my web application, particularly, let's see if we can find it here, this normalized CSS, where the CSS, or pardon me, the normalized CSS is supposed to make your CSS style look the same in all browsers. And I would have probably forgotten that if it wasn't for trying to keep everything in a consistent sprint like we have here. Another part of our planning as well was to draw out wireframes to get a general idea of what we actually want our web application to look like. And I can show you that for at least the home page. I have a standard nav bar here. I have a logo. I have some buttons here, search bar, a carousel bar, which I thought was going to be awesome. And then I have, based on popularity, I have some games here just to be listed out underneath. In practice, this is what actually became of it. And I want to show you a very couple general features that are throughout the entire site. First of all, it's called Brainwave Games with the motto of play to learn, because learning should be play. That should not go away the older you get, or else it gets boring. If you don't believe it, you're lying to yourself. Also, I want people to get the idea that, and they are using their brain for these games. I want them to think, and more to think of not only how to play the game, but also how the game can be applied outside of the site. Another thing is the color scheme. You'll notice this is a tinted green. You're not going to find a lot of green tinted websites. That'd be a good challenge. Um, a lot of game sites make their applications all black, which is fine for a game site, but it's not very friendly, especially if you have younger students. Teachers and parents aren't as eager to throw their kids onto an all black styled website. However, educational computer game sites, or pardon me, educational sites in general, they're usually all white. They have a lot of other materials outside of computer games, but when it comes to actual educational computer games, they're severely lacking, which might be good because with a color scheme, it's hard on your eyes. So I picked this color scheme to be friendly, to be bright, to be safe, to encourage you to know that it is safe, while also being easier on your eyes for when you are spending some time on the site. You'll see here, I got rid of the carousel. I found it to be much more efficient to make a grid of the featured games and have them transition out like so. And then for the general games right here, just to present them just like in the wireframe. Oh, and I did want to show you this little piece of functionality here. Really happy with. If you hover over a div, the title will pop up. I've only done it for this thumbnail. In the future, it will be added to all of these. So as you can see, I'm straddling the line between an arcade site and an educational site because I want this to be something that students will want to go on after class, but also that parents and teachers can know is educational and family friendly for the students involved. If you notice too, there's this little statement. It's not in the wireframe. It's saying the weather and the location. In the future, I want it to have a humorous quote at the end based on gaming and how hot or cold it is. So you can see here it says a city, the temperature, and what it feels like in the general climate. There's actually 3 APIs going on here at the same time. And I wanted to show you how that actually works. So right here, and we're in the home page. First is a permissions API. Did you give my wonderful Capstone the permission to see your location? If not, it's going to hide it hidden. It's not going to show that statement. You can continue on, have a wonderful time. But if you did, it will use a geolocator API right here to get your coordinates by latitude and longitude, and then take those coordinates, put it into an open weather API right here by these template literals. And inside of that open weather map API, it also gets your location for the weather. So if you open up my Capstone wherever you are and you allow it to location, it will give you the weather as of right now, which was extremely fun to do, I must say. Another thing, I want to show you the general functionality of all the pages too. So first we have a games page right here. Again, in the future, the search bars will be active, wonderfully so. And I wanted people to just be able to, if they just wanted to play a game, they could just click on a game, but also to sort by either an arcade mode or an educational mode. And depending on what you click on, it will sort out the games that are for science. Or if you just wanted to play some puzzle games, but all the games will be educational, then it would pick out the puzzles right here. And then I'll take you to the multiplayer form. Now this, it was really difficult to do, but I will be showing it to you. So a multiplayer games will be laid out a little differently. When you select one, it would have the image, the description, and then play. And this looks very similar to all the other game sections where it says other multiplayer games, but it's actually being showed in a very different way. Let me pull that up. So most of the games are shown, like for instance, on the homepage, these are all the feature games. It's a giant block. Okay. They're blocks, which are very intuitive, but I wanted something a little more efficient to experiment with that I can implement later. And to do that, what I did is I eventually came up with a filter method to get a certain type of game, in this case, if they're weak popularity, and then nest that in a map. So what it does is it looks for a certain type of game and then maps them out on the screen. And that is all called right here. One line. This is very nice. And let me go back to the main site because I do want to show you how this site is interacting with a couple of some Mongo database clusters here. So first we have a contact us form. If you do put in a name and an email, and you can give a feedback type and a subject and we give it I don't know, a message that's here. And we submit, it clears. But if we go to our database here, our Mongo database, and we go, there was a contact form. So we'll go to contact forms right here. Let me make sure. Okay. So there's 28 of them. If we go down to the very bottom, we should see right here, you have a final presentation with a smiley face. What is better than that? And if we go into back to index, I'm going to skip lesson planner for the moment to show you where it's also connecting to the Mongo database. If you click on a game, it will take you to the game specific page. It's hidden because it wouldn't be in a nav bar in real life. So ideally, you'd be able to make a comment under a game. And you do that by, I don't know, this is a comment. And it will drop down the history right here, but it's not just taking it down from this text area to that one. It's also putting it inside of Mongo, inside of the comments. So let me scroll through these, show you. Right here, this is a comment. So I have two database groupings here. Just want to make sure you saw that. Okay, now back to the lesson planner page. This will be mainly for teachers. Students could use it, but essentially any educator. The idea is that they'll have a curriculum planned out and want games to go along with it. And to do that, they'll say, let's say for week 1 of the curriculum and a school subject as well, my site will filter through what games would be best for that week in the curriculum and for that subject down here below. And then finally, the About Us page is meant to show what the site is about. It's about making learning fun and engaging. I made a little blurb in particular for students, just to know like the site is meant for them, and also a blurb for educators as well, just to let them know that this is meant to be an aid. It's not supposed to get rid of books. Actually, one thing that I would really like to do is tweak the logo to put a book underneath the motto, because I want there to be that connection of education with these games. A couple blockers I really wanted to show you as well. In the process of making the contact us form, it took me a very long time to realize that these options for the contact us form under feedback need to be identical to the values that are inside of the view page itself. That did take a while. The other blockers I already went over, just to point out where like making a filter in a map method. I did a lot of different for loops, just a filter method, just a map method. Took a very long time to do both. Yeah, so outside of that, let me get back to the main site here. Okay, I did want to show you the mobile mobility of the site. So right now this is at full screen. If it shrinks down a bit, oh, it's getting ahead of itself here. So this is how it looks now. Once it gets to about 1,000 pixels, it'll snap to move the image up there to the top and the search bar down. And when it gets smaller, a little, almost 500 pixels, it'll go to this little hamburger bar. And if you click on it, it will show you all of the apps. You can go to all the pages. So for instance, we want to go to the main page. It'll show it in a mobile form, and notice also that these go down to 2 rows instead of 5. I do plan on doing that for the grid. I haven't implemented that yet though. At this point, I would usually ask if there's any questions, but this is a recording. So if you do in fact have any questions, you can look me up on LinkedIn. My name is Joseph D. Gassiraro, and I will be happy to answer any questions. Other than that, thank you for listening and have a wonderful day.